welcome both to this no-code MVP Bootcamp talk. It's been a few weeks since we wrapped up the bootcamp, so it's great to speak with you both again. How have you been?
All good. From my side, all good. It's been since the launch of my MVP, 2 nice weeks. Mixed things to do, but good.
All right, great to hear that. And for you, Mehmet, you've been
Well,
busy after the
yeah,
bootcamp.
yeah, crazy busy. Trying to continue the MVP itself and other ideas also came. So yeah, all good.
All right. Yeah, great. Yeah, well, we scheduled this one to just talk a little bit about your bootcamp experience. Maybe share a little bit about how you, yeah, perceived everything. So yeah, let's do a quick intro round first. Mehmet, you are from Dubai, coming from a business and technology consultancy background. You're also a speaker and a podcast host, so you are quite into tech. Um, yeah, can you introduce yourself a little bit more and what made you join the No Code MVP Bootcamp?
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Harold. My name is Mehmet. As Harold introduced me, introduced myself as a technology and business consultant, been in the corporate world for a long time and in technology. I'm based in Dubai. I am also the host of the CTO show with Mehmet, which is a podcast that goes both on the podcast platforms and YouTube. The main reason why I joined the bootcamp, so no code is something I've been following for a couple of years now. Um, but really, what caught my attention is that the format of the bootcamp that little bit put you, in a real life scenario. I would say you have to come up with your idea and build the MVP and so on. So, and of course, I've seen a lot of hype around the 100 days of no code cohort. So that's why I decided to join.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, and IDs you had enough. We will talk a little bit after that in a bit. It was really fun when you got started with the IDs, so that's great.
Yeah.
Thanks for introducing yourself. And Georgia, you are from Portugal. Yeah, you also have a background in product management. But yeah, when you applied for the bootcamp, you mentioned that you are pivoting your career to become a solopreneur. Is that also why you joined the bootcamp?
Hello, Harold. Yes, yes. So my background is business management, and I was also in Dubai until recently as a senior executive, and I'm now in Lisbon, and pivoting my career from working for someone else to working on my own. And the interesting thing is that I had no clue about the no code. I've been using Twitter for some time, and I've seen a lot of people creating great stuff. But with the use of code, and I thought, okay, I'm not going to learn code. It's time consuming and energy, and I think I'm not even into it. Um, and on Twitter I found some tweets about it. I did some research and dig a little bit more, and then I realized I took a decision. Okay, I have some ideas. I want to do something. I have an idea of a project, a small project, and I think this might be the right way because I read the story of other people who I felt the same, like lurkers, just watch and with a different background, not tech background. And if they made it, so I think I can make it as well. This is when I decided to join the bootcamp. And after all this time, I look back and it was a great decision. And
Yeah,
I'm very
cool.
happy with it.
Yeah, awesome. Great to hear that. Yeah, and I relate to the lurking. Just watching other people build is fun. It's inspiring, but yeah, it's really great to now finally build your own things, isn't it?
Yes, 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 yes. It's a feeling of empowerment. It's real, because we get used to
Yeah.
see others doing things, but we cannot. And I also thought, like, I'm not going to, ask a developer, being dependent on someone, paying a lot of money, and I cannot control what the outcome. So this is a totally different game.
Yeah. Thanks for sharing. And great to have you here. I just mentioned that Mehmet had a lot of ideas when we were in the brainstorm phase of the bootcamp program. But I think George, you came in already with the idea of your MVP, if
Yes,
I recall correct.
yes, correct.
Well, can you shortly tell which idea you came into the bootcamp?
So I had in mind already to do like a curated visit guides for visitors to Lisbon. You know, when you visit a city, you want to have some advice. Usually you ask your friends or someone who lives in that city to tell you what to do or where to go, and where to stay, and restaurants and all that. So I thought, let me do something for Lisbon as well, since so many people ask me what to do. Even when I was abroad, my friends from here will ask me what to do in Lisbon, and I thought, okay, let me try something different. I'll do a like digital guides. I'll put what I know about the city in guides, and I'll sell the guides with the Google Maps. So how am I going to do this? And then I thought, okay, on Gumroad, but just putting the digital guide on Gumroad is not enough. That was my first step, though. I created a digital product and I put it on Gumroad. That was already a milestone, which I think, okay, I can achieve this. So now that I have the product, let me put like the channel, like the distribution. And the no code bootcamp was the facilitator for all of this, because I experienced a few tools, from a download for the mobile, to creating databases with Airtable, to the software as well for front office. And I from the it's like a buffet of tools, no code tools, and I choose the ones that were necessary to build my project, which was in the end an e-commerce website. And I put I learned software, Airtable. I did some on the bootcamp, some exercises. I did some on my own. I felt motivated. Once you might have a few bumps in the beginning, but once you get used to understand how it works, the blocks, it's very straightforward. And then I put my hands on it. I was committed. I put the time and effort, and at the end of the bootcamp, I had a functional website, e-commerce website.
Yeah, really cool. Yeah, let's talk a little bit more about that later. So you came in with a clear ID,
Yes.
but a clear ID isn't really required when the bootcamp started. So it's always good when people already have an ID. But I think you, on the other side, Mehmet, you didn't have a clear ID what to build for the MVP yet. So you went the brainstorm route and thinking about ideas, setting up several Yep pages along. How was that process for you?
Yeah, for me, it's a little bit different than George because for me, I was so excited to the extent that I was not able to decide which idea to build an MVP on. So what I started to do is I started to review what I wanted to build long time back, and then I went on a journey to narrow it down because of the time of the boot camp. It's 4 weeks, and we have to do the exercises and learn some tools and so on. So at the end, I decided to go with one idea which I found that I myself have a problem with it, which is tracking subscription. So all of us, we do subscriptions, whether personal ones, business related ones. But my target was people who are like us, like people who want to be solopreneurs or who are like nomads or digital entrepreneur, whatever you want to call it. And of course, like down the road, you end up by having multiple subscriptions. So the idea was to have a one interface where you can see all the software that you subscribe to, and then you can track when these subscriptions are going to expire. So if you don't need them anymore, you can just unsubscribe. And also, you can see kind of a budget, how much monthly you are paying, how much yearly you are paying, and then you can decide maybe you want to downgrade some of them and so on. So this is what I decide on, but I built it faster than I expected, and then I said to myself, why I don't build another idea?
Yeah,
And this is where I built something I call it, say, fun. Of course, it's I don't know what I to do with it. I called it the AI generated the gift idea, which also worked at the end. And this is how I had these two MVPs by the end of the course.
Yeah, yeah, it was really cool to see when you got the hang of the no code, when you learned the first things, how you went on with just creating new things, sharing new ideas. That was awesome. I see Seng also joined us here in the space. Seng, I sent you an invite to also come up and speak about your experience. So perhaps if you are on mobile app, you should see it there. So maybe you could share later too. Going on with George and Mehmet, yeah, about the bootcamp experience. The bootcamp is a 30-day program to help people learn about no code and then help people to build an MVP with no code. And we start with week 0, if you recall. It's a month, or more than a month ago for you already. But if you recall, it was to warm up, read into an intro of no code and other no code related topics, and some warm ups exercises. Was it needed for you? Did you already know about these things? George, what was your situation when you came into the bootcamp? Were you already familiar with some no code, or were you completely new to this?
Totally unaware of no code when I started. I'm from the old school of the Excel, the Word, the PowerPoint, and if
Yeah.
Google Sheets, and the traditional, the legacy tools. So
Yeah.
now
So
the
the warm up week was really good for you to
yes,
get
yes,
started. Yeah.
yes. For me, it was the warm up week was fundamental because I experienced the YAPSO, the Airtable, small exercises, simple, but were very helpful for the first time opening, signing in and see a different interface. And I realized that I completed all those exercises very easily, and I thought, okay, so this is not a rocket science, so I can do it. So it's was a great motivation to start, definitely.
Yeah. There are a couple of mini missions to just to practice and to get onto it.
Yes.
Which one did you like the most from the start week?
I think the Airtable one, the Airtable,
Right.
and
Yeah.
using the filters and that the Kanban, the cards, the presentation, and see the potential of that tool was very eye opening.
Cool. Yeah. So that's got you started. Mehmet, you have 20 plus years experience in technology. Um, how did you experience week 0? Was that something because you perhaps already have some experience with it, or was it also totally new for you when we started?
No, for me, I already majority of the tools I would say familiar in the sense that either I tried it once or I heard about the name. But the experience for me is that although you might know a tool, but having it into a more structured way, for me, where you have a format that can I would not use the word force, but at least I would say like put you on a track to do by practice. So for me, this was the main thing, and especially talking about the exercises. So although like for example, I used Airtable for quite some time, but it's good to review even the basics, right? So to build simple tables in a modern view, and as George said, like because all of us, we were used to the Excel and the Google Sheet. So put something, a structure that later on you can build an app on top of it. Like this was something fun to do, although I have done it before. But yeah, like majority of the tools, I can say maybe 90% of them were good. The only thing that I want to add here, because George mentioned Yep, for example, Yep.so, the thing is also to learn how to do this, even if you have the knowledge, how to do it in a structured way. And this is week 0 because we were prepared of what is ahead for us. So this was the best thing to have during that week to get to see your roadmap, from zero, whether you have the knowledge or not, to having a working MVP on the demo day.
Yeah, and then after week zero, after everyone got warmed up, we got to know each other. Well, we kicked off the program with the first live welcome session, kickoff session in week one, where you got to meet all your peers with a group of 50 plus people to get started with no code. All over the world, really diverse group. How was it for you to meet the others, Mehmet? Did you perhaps saw any familiar faces already from Twitter or something?
So this is the funny thing. I always wanted to join, but I forget for some time. I missed the deadline, and then I was following Hazel for some time, and we exchanged some messages on Twitter before the bootcamp. And one day, I've seen that she's going there. I said, "Oh my God! Like I forget totally to go into this." So this is how also like Hazel, she was a familiar face for me. But yeah, it was nice to meet people from all around the world, they are spread. Some of the names, they were also familiar from other masterminds I'm in and so on. So maybe even if we didn't talk there, we had the chance to talk to each other during the course. So yeah, it was a fun, and it's good to know people from around the world having the same mission. They want to come up with ideas and build them. That's what I would say.
That's funny to hear. I didn't know that. So you joined the boot camp. You wanted to join before, but you missed the deadline of the previous cohort, and then you joined because of the tweets of Hazel. That's
Yes.
really cool. And yeah, talking about people all over the world joining us. The world is quite small because George, you mentioned during the kickoff when we met for the first time, and Mehmet shared in the chat, he's from Dubai, that you lived for a couple of years in Dubai as well. So that was funny, I recall.
Yes, yeah, 10 years in Dubai.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, so then we got started, and after the kickoff, the program runs 4 weeks. So week zero is the warm up. In week one, we start the live interactive build sessions, and we meet a few times a week. Week one was about automations, Notion, and the foundations of APIs. How was week one for you, George?
The week one, the Notion was very interesting. Although I think from all the tools I experienced, it's still the one that I don't click yet. I think I have to put more time in it. And the automations are really cool. Yesterday I was playing with automations. So I tried Zapier, and I'm playing now more with Make, and makes life so much easier. And I learned in the bootcamp to use the automation in the first like in simple tasks. And now I don't want to do anything else. And I create forms on Tally. I remember the first week also to create a small form on Tally. And with automation, I can put the content into Airtable automatically without even blinking an eye. And that is just awesome. It saves a lot of time and increases productivity.
Yeah, it was really a time-saving week. That was also one of the titles of the live workshops to help you save time with the automations. So really powerful. And Mehmet, did you dive into the API foundations as well? Already using this, or are you focusing on Zapier or Make, just like George?
For me, it's a mix actually, and this is one of the nice things also of week one. So week one, we created all of us. I believe we created an automation based on Zapier, and similar to George, like also I shifted to Make Integromat formally, and for APIs, these automation tools, what I can share, like if you get the basics of how to use it, and if you want to little bit add, I would say kind of a salt and pepper to your MVP later on in the course, like this will be a game changer because again, using no code, you can interact with other piece of maybe systems that will allow you to add cool functionalities to your MVP. And again, you don't need to understand the code, because the documentation of Zapier and Make, it's very easy. So they have step-by-step guides, and of course inside the course as well, there are plenty of resources where you can browse and check. So yeah, it was nice to build this automation between different things, like whether Notion to something, or Zapier, or Tally. So yeah, like it was nice to start, at least to have the feeling of what you're gonna build and what tools you might want to add to your final product.
Yeah, yeah, and like you say, week one and week two are part of how we call it, the base camp. We relate this to the logo of 100 Days of No Code, which has a beautiful mountain in it. It's a climb to learn no code. And we consider week one and week two as the base camp, where we get started, introduce the participants to the foundations of important concepts, but also to get to practice with building with some of the most used tools like Airtable, Software, Dello, Tool Notion, tools to get used to no code and practice with building. So week one was about automations, APIs. So then in week two, we dove into databases, the fundamentals of databases, which are also important when, for example, you want to build a directory later, an overview of things, or more extensive web applications or mobile applications. So the database part was in week two. George, you as non-tech, how was the database part for you? You had an experience with Excel. Was it easy for you to relate to the
Uh,
database part and stuff?
yes, it was easy. The bridge, from the Excel to Airtable was easy. Again, like I had to get used to a new interface, and like the saying, the old habits die hard. Used to
Yeah,
Excel, and then Google Sheets, and now seeing a total different interface was a bit mixed feeling in the beginning. But once you started, doing small experiments and see that things work, and then connect them with other tools, and I got very excited with it, Airtable. And even the other day, I was talking to a friend of mine who is a proficient in Excel. I told him, "No, I don't want Excel anymore. Now that I discovered Airtable, who needs Excel?" Um, so that's my
yeah.
level of excitement with this new tool.
Yeah, so that was a good week for you, week two. And Mehmet, in week two, yeah, we also had live workshops with about building a mobile app with Adelo and building a web app with Software, where basically your projects really come alive. And I recall that that's where for you it really clicked, right? That's where you got building. I
Yes.
think, yeah,
Yeah, for me, like, although I had the the know-how, let's say, but the nice thing is the examples. I remember one of the examples where you have the tutorial to build a basic CRM. So basically, you have a table. From a table, you have the customers there, and then you have the orders, and then you have the products, and there's a step-by-step guide that shows you how to build this. And actually, you can build it in, let's say, let's be like not too much aggressive and build it in 1 hour, but this is again a huge thing. So this is was the Airtable one, and then connected to a web interface. And then the Adalo part, where we built the Twitter like application, and basically something you can also finish it in 1 hour, I would say. And this is for people who would join. I would say it will remove the myth, because if today you are a non-technical guy and you decide, for example, to build an app, so probably you have heard about something called back end, front end, and all this stuff. And then when you hear back end, you hear about names I'm sure you're not familiar with. You hear like SQL database, Oracle, I don't know, like something like this. Back end, it's like a mysterious thing. And with Airtable, and like tools which they have also like their built-in app the database like Adalo, this myth get busted, because basically you can build your own back end, let's call it, because that is it's removed. It's an abstract level now. and just you focus on the functionality. So week 2 is a really, I would say, for anyone who would join, is a aha moment. Like, yeah, I know that I can build something with this technology.
Yeah, that's the real excitement, and that's also what you see in the chat. The real excitement starts in week 2. The fundamentals are core to learn, but then week 2 is more about the real building already, and that's where we finish basically the base camp. And the second half of the boot camp, week 3 and week 4, then are all about building your MVP. So in week 2, you selected the ID, what to build for the MVP, and then week 3 is about channeling your fundamentals into your own ID. We discuss how to scope your MVP, which tools are best to build your own ID. There are office hours, and then there's the build weekend. Yeah, how was that for you, Mehmet?
Yeah, that was the, I would say, also fun part, because while you start to, at this stage, everyone, they knew what they have to build. At least I'm talking about myself. And then you have to face the challenges. But the key point here, guys, who would listen to us, is don't give up, because this is where the no code clinic comes to the rescue. And this happened to me personally. So I was stuck in the second MVP. I wanted to bring some images from Amazon and put them inside software. So someone helped me, private, like he helped me, and like he said, okay, you can use this tool, you can integrate, and then you can do it. So this was big help, because at some stage I was about to say, okay, I think I will remove this feature because it's hard to implement. And this is, it's when you have all these people who are collaborating with each other, so you have all the team trying to help each other. It's really fun, and this hours were really, really helpful. I would say this is also one of the best thing during the course.
Yeah, we are surrounded with a group of about 15 experts from the no code space, practitioners in residence from our group 100 Days of No Code, to help the participants, coming from all kind of expertises. Some are giving the live build sessions, others are in Slack or during the office hours around. George, did you needed help from one of those practitioners as well during your build, and who helped you?
Yes, that was very important, the support from the community, because you can get clarifications to your questions or your doubts, but you also learn with the questions from the others, and because of the variety of people using different tools, there's always someone, a couple, using the same tools as I did, which in this case was Airtable and Software. Most questions were with Software. And I remember that the clinic, I don't recall his name, the guy that gave the session on Software, I spent an hour with him.
Tom Krumink.
Tom, yes. He was very patient, and he clarified all my inquiries. Because in the beginning you might have a lot of doubts, and some questions they look foolish, but it is what it is. And at the end, I got everything sorted out. We even sorted out there was a little bug, and he clarified, and that was really very helpful, to keep you motivated and keep you on track, because you don't want to you're on full speed, and you will find bumps as part of the process, the learning process, and you knowing that you have a support from the community, it's very motivating, and it worked perfectly. Then that building weekend, I built a functional website, which before I never thought I would be possible to do.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, and it's also I think, speaking for myself, I also love the hackathon or the sprint vibes of such a weekend, blocking the whole weekend to just build something and seeing it come alive in 48 hours. That's crazy, right?
Yes. I think you set up the right mindset, and you have to get away from all the distractions, and then get it done. But once you do it, the accomplishment is a very good feeling.
Yeah. Yeah, and by that time, you also, since you're already 3 weeks in the program, when the build weekend is, you also know the other participants quite well because
Yes.
of the live sessions, because of the chat on Slack, and the peer groups. Did you opt in for the peer groups? Did you connect with your peers on Fridays?
Yes, yes, yes. Every week with Mehmet and Azel, mostly. Yeah,
Oh
the
yeah,
three of us. So we had a lot of brainstorming.
with
Yeah,
yeah,
the
no,
guys
that's
they
cool.
helped a lot, Georgia and Hazel. Yeah,
I did.
So the peer
Yeah,
groups is
go
very
on.
good because we. Yes, yes.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. We meet on Fridays. The peer groups meet on Fridays, and people can opt in for a peer group that suits their best their own time. Because of course, with people around the world, we have all kind of different time zones. So you could choose your own preferred slot for the peer groups. And yeah, now I see that with the three of you, you had a really great engaging group because you all three were really engaged the whole program.
yes, I guess we were lucky. Our group was very good, and we were very focused. So this peer group was a very focused discussion, brainstorming. So we will give like feedback to each other. You see, one will do the demonstration of the product or the idea, and the others will give the feedback. So it helped clear the the ideas in towards the building and the weekend building.
Yeah, and yeah, I'm not sure. Have you already been in cohort-based courses before, or was this the first time that you did a course like this online with a group together?
Uh, I've done cohort courses before. I think one or two, but it's not so active. You know, you don't. You're more like a listener. You don't interact as much as this one. So very different. Like this one, it was the first one that I did, and I
And
think
what's I'm curious to learn about it. What's the advantage of that? How did that help,
oh,
or not?
quite a lot, quite a lot. From my experience, I've done Coursera, Udemy, the whole lot of trainings, Google, UX design, and all that. You know, self-paced, whatever. And I think the cohort is the future of education because there's accountability. You know, there's commitment. You have to commit with the others if you are in groups. You can, you know, it's easier when you are together rather than when you are alone. You can ask for clarifications. You can just even make fun of topics with other guys and get some support as well. Um, and I think that is it's fundamental for any, you know, for someone starting or even for someone with experience. The cohort courses are fundamental for achieving the goals of each one.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think it really helps, and also the accountability. Yeah, and then of course, yeah, we love to see the progress everyone makes, and yeah, towards week 4, that's where we celebrate after the build weekend. We celebrate all the builds and everything, all the MVPs that all participants built during a demo on the Wednesday. Yeah, where basically everything comes together. Everyone has finished their ID, built it with no code tools in 4 weeks, and then we celebrate it. From the demo, Mehmet, I know you were there too. Um, which MVP of the other participants really stood out for you, and why?
I think all of them they were good. um, and everyone really like they came with the best of the best, I would say. I can mention few that they stuck in my head. So of course, George's one was amazing. You know, it's simplest but at the same time useful. Hazel's one because I know she struggled a lot with Glide, but at the end she had a really working MVP like for doing this financial simulation. Jackie's one also was awesome because she did something very advanced. I mean, she went one further step, I would say, to even do some data scraping and bring things together. And Keith's one, which was like about it was built in Bubble, I believe, which is about the car maintenance thing. So really, all these projects, they the reason I like that because they were solving some kind of problem. Of course, like the way is long, and maybe we can talk about this if the time allows, but at least, everyone tried to solve a problem that either they have or they know people has. And, during the demo, everyone was able to show a working prototype. So that was really, one of the key advantages from my perspective to not only see myself building, but see other people building their MVPs.
Yeah, yeah, I'm really impressed every time again how much different ideas and how everyone comes in. Some even don't have any technical skills, some have some experience, but then suddenly, 4 weeks later, we have all those great products at the demo. So yeah, congrats to you all. It was an honor that you joined our bootcamp. It's a pleasure to meet you all. We wrapped up in week 4, but we stayed in touch afterwards, and yeah, we are really curious to see where your no code journey is heading after this. It's really great to follow you all. Yeah, talking about that, Mehmet, what are your next steps for your MVP, for your no code journey?
Um, so for me, no code is something that is here to stay, I would say, because um, I started to believe more and more, and this is what I wanted to bring. For anyone, who has an idea and he's struggling or she's struggling to start, like really, no code is the future. And what I decided to do is to leverage now. I'm not claiming myself expert yet. I'm close, but I'm not a full expert yet. But I want also to inspire other people, to first get to know what is no code so they can start their own thing, how they can validate their ideas. And on the other side, and as we were talking before, I have a lot of ideas. And the beauty of no code is that you can bring these ideas to life very, very fast. And then, you can validate them fast. And if you find out that, okay, this idea, no one wants it, okay, you can jump on the other one. So this is something that I would be doing where I will have kind of quick iterations. So I will be coming out with a lot of ideas, and the one that clicks, I would focus on. Of course, the one I have already, I need still to continue to see if there will be demand. But yeah, I have a lot of ideas that I want to keep building with no code. So this is for me the future.
Cool. And George, you built LisbonAdvisor.com during the bootcamp as your MVP, and you mentioned to me that you were doing this because, yeah, spring is coming, and then the summer holiday season. You wanted to have this idea you had in mind finished right before that. So I'm really curious what your next steps are with the product now and how that's going.
Well, so I launched it 2 weeks ago, more or less, and the learning curve continues. The funny thing is that the website is just the first step, and now I'm learning about SEO, canonical, also backlinks, a lot of things for the website to get noticeable, and also the marketing. So this is a whole new thing for me, and step by step, I'm getting to it, and interacting and see if people. I set up Google Analytics, something that was new for me as well, to see what is the behavior. I see that people spend on the website like 47 seconds on average, so almost a minute, which is not bad. Um, but I see I still have a lot of work ahead of me, for it to come up in the Google search. So now I have to learn what are the keywords. I have to write more content. I think I have to pivot a little bit. I can keep the digital guides as well, but I have to create more content. So it's quite exciting to see that the building continues, and for it to become like a proper website and a product, it still have a few steps ahead, but it's doable as long as you're persistent and committed. It will get done, I think. So hopefully by the summer, if someone searches, it will come up in the Google
Yeah,
browser.
yeah. Yeah, well, yeah, I definitely bookmarked it for whenever. I'm not sure when in the next years I will visit Lisbon, so I hope to use it then. Really cool. And Mehmet, what's also cool is you launched your product on Product Hunt, which is talking about marketing that George does, which is yeah, also really exciting and just also a whole marketing strategy. How was that for you launching this on Product Hunt?
So it's a new experience. Like as I was saying, like a lot of things I have the know-how, but I never practice it. And this is, part of the journey that you have to little bit break, I would say, the fears that you have, and just go and share it with people, and actually do it. The earlier you do it, the better, because the faster you get a feedback, the better it is. And for example, for me, when I put it on Product Hunt, although it's it's not a full product, it's just a landing page, but still the feedback was good. And I also publish it on Indie Hacker, and there I received a lot of feedback also as well. And this is what now is the next step of taking it to the maybe next stage. So yeah, like it's as George said, it's like a continuous learning curve, and this is again something that the I believe the bootcamp install in all of us, to keep seeking for learning and doing it in public, I would say, because at the end of the day, all of us, we are new to this lunch idea. So keep doing it and don't be afraid of failing, because guess what, like a lot of known startups failed at the beginning, and then they pivot and they do something else. So yeah, from marketing perspective, I would say all of us, we need to learn how to do like also proper audience building, which is something I'm trying also to learn and do as well, whether it's on Twitter, LinkedIn, other social media, if you are into that. So I know some people go to Reddit, some people go to like Indie Hacker, as I was saying. So it's kind of a learning journey that you need to learn, because if you have a really cool product, you need people to learn and hear about it, because you might have the best product in the world, but if no one knows about it, no one will use it. So yeah, it's a learning curve, I would say.
Yeah, that's a great advice. You were both part of Bootcamp 5, which ended in March. It's the 31st of March when we record this. I'm going to share this with people following 100 days in the bootcamp. The next bootcamp starts in a month on May 1st. So a month from now, at the moment we record this, already 25 people signed up, registered for the bootcamp. So it's going to be great again. If wrapping up this Twitter space, this recording, if I could ask you your number one advice for the participants of the next cohort, what would that be, George?
To not to think twice and jump on it. You will not regret it.
Yeah, really cool. And Mehmet, if you have to come up with just one advice for the participants of the next cohort, what would
I
it
will
be?
not be different than George. Yeah, guys, just do it. Don't hesitate one moment. You will not regret it. Really, I'm not saying this, because it's realistic. It's your one, maybe lifetime chance to change maybe your career, maybe to come up with a big idea that might be something big. So just do it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the value for money is very good. Say.
Thanks for sharing both, and I really can relate to this. Of course, I'm biased because I'm part of the team, but I wasn't part of the team when I joined the first no code MVP bootcamp from Max Heining in October 21. Then I was just a participant when he started, and I am a non-tech co-founder of a company here in the Netherlands. But I always depended on my co-founder, who is the developer. I wanted to have more autonomy, wanted to realize my own ideas. And when I saw this bootcamp, I subscribed immediately when Max did it. And I joined Bootcamp 1 as a participant. I loved it. It really relate to the excitement of you both sharing your stories here. I loved it so much. So after that, I wanted to stay around, and that's when I joined the team. So saying this now. Of course, I'm a little bit biased, but relating to the participant side as well, I really loved it, and I only can recommend this. But don't take my word. I'm part of the team. But thanks for sharing, Mehmet and George. Really appreciate all the good stuff to hear here. But you just like you did, your excitement during the whole program, the whole 30 days was amazing to follow. It was a pleasure to see and to follow how you came up with the ideas and how you realized them. And like I said, we are still daily almost in touch, and the bootcamp is a while over already, and it's just awesome to follow your tracks. I'm looking forward to the next cohort. Going to share this recording. Thanks everyone for listening. Thanks again for sharing. For you both, we speak soon, and see you around.
My
And
pleasure.
whenever someone listens to this and has any questions, my DMs are open on Twitter at 8TKSTR. Not the most handy Twitter handle, just Harold at Twitter. You can find me. And my DMs are open, or just reach out to at 100 Days of No Code or at Heining Max whenever you have questions. Or if you don't have any questions anymore, you can join the next bootcamp by visiting 100daysofnocode.com/no-code-MVP, 100daysofnocode.com/no-code-MVP. And I'm really looking forward to see you all in May, starting May 1st. Thanks again, and see you all around. Bye-bye.
See you. Bye.
Thank you all. Good luck all. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.